Hello my little flowers, it is spooky season. That's right, it's time for all things scary, gorish, all that fun, frightful stuff. And we made our way to Halloween Horror Nights for our first visit. So with all that being said, let's go. Mike the Bee, the music. Alright, so it's Halloween Horror Nights 33, and this year the event includes 10 haunted houses, 5 scare zones, a tribute store, themed food and drink, Death Eaters are back in Diagon Alley, and we have the return of the Nightmare Fuel gang with Nocturnal Circus. So we didn't get to do everything on the first night. Obviously, we want to take our time and get to see everything we possibly can. We have a couple, quite a few weeks still left to go in the season. So we want to take our time and we want to bring you along with us. So let's get started. As with every single year, there is an icon, or this year icons, for the event. This year they bring us Sinister and Surreal. And from the actual website, the description says, for 33 years, the screams of thousands of eager Halloween Horror Nights guests have been collected within the shadowy depths of Universal Orlando Resort. With each year that went by came a new set of frights for our guests to indulge. All the while, their wails of terror festered beneath the billow of fog up on the surface, forming a monstrous manifestation of the horror that lives within their hearts. An evil overgrowth that would spread its hellish grasp throughout every crevice of the park's underbelly. As the overgrowth expanded in size, its beating heart ripped a tear between our world and the vast universe of horrors that exists beyond our own. The never-ending void in which fear derives from. Within that universe are two distinct realms, one fueled by physical pain while the other is plagued by psychological torment. At the helm of these worlds are two entities, Sinister and Surreal, who each embody the hellscapes they stand guard for. So when you first enter the event, you're going to come upon the first scare zone, which is a duality of fear. It was raining when we entered, so we really didn't go in through the archway that says Halloween Horror Nights and neon lights and all that fun stuff. The scare actors were not out, and I kind of want to talk about that. So you might want to check the weather if you decide on going to this event, because if there's rain, if there's definitely lightning, anything like that, they will not have the scare actors out. And they might even shut down some of the houses because most of the lines are outside. So for the safety of the guests, for the safety of the performers, it does happen. We got there were no scare actors out or anything. So we kind of made our way back to like the tribute store area. We got a return time for our first house. So just kind of be prepared for that. Check the weather before you go. Bring rain gear. It is hurricane season, so rain showers and stuff are known to pop up at any given time, even if the weather says there's nothing in the forecast. So just kind of heads up on the weather. So like I said, we made our way back to the tribute store for this year's event. Now the tribute store is open during regular operating hours, so if you're not going to Halloween Horror Nights, you are able to experience the tribute store during the daytime, the regular hours. So here's a description of the theme for this year's tribute store. Step into a dystopian city where an ancient evil is wreaking havoc on this highly themed retail space. Guests will venture through a variety of haunted urban-themed locations, from an abandoned warehouse to a creepy subway station and beyond, while also a serial killer on the loose and stalking them until they come face to face with their killer in the end. So we kind of made a quick pass to the tribute store. Because of the weather, it was quite crowded and there was a lot of people in there, a lot of things going on. So I really didn't get a whole lot of time to really like look at the tribute store. They usually do quite an amazing job with the various tribute stores throughout the different seasons. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do a more detailed kind of deep dive into this year's tribute store. We did get a quick look. It actually looks really, really cool. But I want to get more information before I kind of really get into the whole theming and everything for this year's store. Alright, so I was trying to find like a slightly quiet spot to do this because there isn't a whole lot of quiet spots at Halloween Horror Nights. Alright, Torture Fair. Come one, come all to Sinister's Renaissance Fair with a devious theme of medieval torture. Brave the glorious, gory, homemade torture devices till you're put out of your misery. Torture Fair is kind of like medieval torture, and so it's in the New York area of the park. It's actually done really well. I feel like they really upped their game in the New York area. If you watched any of my past videos, the New York area was always kind of very like, the whole space wasn't really utilized very well, or didn't feel like it was utilized very well. The past couple years, they really stepped it up. More props, more like the one year they had actual floats because it was like the parade or whatever. So this year, with the Torture Fair, I enjoy it. There seems to be a lot more going on as you're walking down the street. So I enjoyed that.
One of the fun facts right now is because a lot of the movies or the TV shows that we're watching have been delayed because of the writer's strike that happened this year. We're re-watching some older stuff, and we're watching Game of Thrones right now, and the scare zone was almost like now we're walking through Game of Thrones. It's very medieval, like the Game of Thrones medieval times.
Yes.
And it was, I mentioned it to him more than once. I was like, gosh, it really feels like we're in Game of Thrones. Or we also watched House of the Dragon, and it was like, oh yeah, look, it's the Targaryens over here, and I was just giving him a hard time. So it was done very, very well, and you really feel like you're back in medieval times.
So basically, every time I walk through it now, I'm going to think Game of Thrones. And for those of you old school HHNers, remember the Bill and Ted show when Game of Thrones came out, and they brought out Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
Yes, and so in the show,
Mother of Dragons.
They called her Dragon Boobs. So
Dragon Boobs.
It's the
nostalgia.
The Dragon Boobs section. Scare zone. We're going to review Ghostbusters really quick. That was our first house of the season. A bone-chilling new specter has escaped from an ancient artifact, and he'll stop you cold. The Ghostbusters must team up to save you and the rest of the world from a second ice age. So, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go?
Sure. Ghostbusters was 100% playing to the fans. Like, if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, you're gonna enjoy the Ghostbusters house, because like literally everywhere that you looked, there was something Ghostbusters. Especially with this latest movie,
Frozen Empire.
I'm sure what he said.
Frozen Empire.
Frozen
Empire.
Empire.
Like the Star Wars Ghost.
Yeah. But it was like we watched the movie and then we came to the house and it was like we were walking through the movie. So yeah. I really liked it.
Yes. So I really liked it. Our first walkthrough, maybe, I don't know, our walkthrough, we were missing a lot of scare actors. I noticed a lot of what they call the boo holes were empty. Obviously, we either got like change of character or they just didn't show up tonight. I don't know. But overall, I did enjoy the house. Like you said, we watched the movie already. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought that this installment of Ghostbusters was actually really good. The house really kind of did that movie justice by putting in all kinds of just like Easter eggs and kind of like recall moments from the movie. And then the scare actors that I did see to represent the characters, to me, they actually really kind of resembled the actor from the movie. So I enjoyed Ghostbusters. It was good.
There's one thing that I have to go back and look at the movie, but I believe Ecto-1 had red lights, and in the movie, Ecto-1 had blue lights. So I want to go back and check on that, because I think that's the only thing, if you're a nitpicker and you really want to see something different, like Ecto-1 had red lights in the house, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it had more than just red lights. I think it was blue lights or red and blue, but it wasn't just red. So that was the only nitpick that I have for the house, if we're gonna do some nitpicking. But that's all I've got.
Okay. So we got through our first house. It was amazing. It was time to get something to eat, and there's always a little themed food booths and treats and drinks at this event. So this is no different than any other. They've really done a really good job at theming the food booths these past couple years. And so we had to stop at the Ghostbusters food booth because we just got done with the house and there was a treat there that I really wanted to get. So this is what we got. So I got the staple mini Stay Puft S'more. It's a mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, chocolate bar, and graham cracker. This is a traditional s'mores, but it's just the theming of it. It's really cute. It's a very simple, delicious dessert. Something I'm gonna say you have to get if you go to the event just because of how cute this delicious treat turned out to be. We did get one of Slimer's Korean corn dogs. It's a Korean cheese dog with Fritos, Cheetos powder, ghost pepper spice, sage derby cheese, and mozzarella. This was okay. It wasn't like amazing and overwhelming or any of that stuff. It was just okay. It's something, the spices and stuff were not overpowering at all. You did get a little bit of a kick, so it was good, but I wouldn't say it was just like amazing. My partner did get the Class V concoction. It's made with New Amsterdam vodka, Saint Germain elderflower liqueur, kiwi syrup, honeydew melon syrup, lime juice, vanilla bean essence, and fluff marshmallow topping. He said it was okay. I think the elderflower was throwing things off. I guess that's kind of like the new trend as far as liqueur this year. It seems to be in quite a few different drinks that we saw. So if you haven't had elderflower or you're not a fan of it, you might want to skip this one. He said it was okay. He wasn't very impressed by it. He just said that it was a flavor. Really quick as we headed on to the next scare zone. So we were passing by the big clock tower at the Ghirardelli kind of storefront in Universal Studios Florida, and they had the symbols for sinister and surreal, and I kind of noticed it, but my partner wanted to point out for sure that the symbols are the number 33. They're kind of back to back, and then they're done in different kind of like typefaces, but they're fused together. So if you're just looking at it, you see like this kind of neat crazy symbol or whatever, but if you really look at it, it is the number 33 back to back. And so I mean, it's just all part of the theming, and that's, I mean, just a little cool little detail that they've done this year for the event. All right, so the second scare zone we went through was Blumhouse. Enter the Blumhouse. Escape a terrifying gauntlet of Blumhouse characters, from sinister sadists from The Purge and Black Phone to Megan dancing into your nightmares. You've never done horror like this. I believe we've seen, or at least I've seen, most of the movies represented in the scare zone. Of course, there's Megan, the Black Phone.
Black Phone.
And then I noticed Happy Death Day. I can't remember Purge was supposed to be in there, and I think we saw some of the Purge people, but I'm not 100% sure if that was them. I don't know, it's a fun zone. Like, it's a Mod Podge of their movies, their popular movies. So
it really reminds me kind of like we talked about the Ghostbusters house, as far as like, you know, just kind of a love letter to the fans. That's what the Blumhouse Scare Zone feels like to me. You really get the love letter to the fans by the actress that they had there for Megan looked almost exactly like the robot. The kid trying to answer the telephone looked exactly like the kid in the Black Telephone movie. I mean, it really was a love letter, and like Blumhouse has really stepped up its game, in my opinion, because the houses last year, 2 years ago.
I don't remember. It all runs together for me.
I know, right? It feels like we just had Christmas yesterday. So they're really doing a good job with some of the IP that they have, and the Blumhouse Scare Zone really said, "Here's Blumhouse," and you're like, "Got it." Yes. So that's my take.
All right. So we made it to the scare zone, and it was time to get another treat. Now, we always like to stop into the San Francisco Pastry Company because they seem to have the better treats usually year to year. So even if they don't have a good themed treat for the event, they actually have some really good desserts. So if you're looking for something really good and tasty, pop into this the San Francisco Pastry Company, because you will not be disappointed. So we got the lemon berry mini cake. It's lemon cake with blueberry filling. It had a white chocolate blueberry filled eyeball on top. It was layered very well. Everything was absolutely delicious. The cake was not dry. The icing was done perfectly. This was actually a really good, different dessert for this event. So it was just really, really good. We also got the Death by Blondie, and this is a traditional blondie. There are some other little extras that were in the blondie itself. I felt like the blondie was slightly underbaked. Usually blondies are a little bit more chewy than a regular brownie. This was extra super like chewy and dense. So to me, it felt like it was underbaked. My partner enjoyed it a lot. He really, really liked this. So if you're looking for something a little different, not as heavy, then definitely check out these desserts at the San Francisco Pastry Company. Really, really quick, I want to talk about the Attraction Assistant Pass sign up locations. So normally if you have an Attraction Assistant Pass, you normally have to go to the various houses, entrance, same thing with the attractions, and get a return time. Well, this year they are trying something new for Halloween Horror Nights. You can still go to the entrance to the house and get a return time if you are there at the entrance and you're just there and it's convenient for you. But what they've done this year is they set up 2 other locations in the park. One is back by kind of like Men in Black and the stage where the Nocturnal Circus is performing. And then the other one is in the front. It's kind of in the alleyway where VillainCon is and where the Illumination meet and greet is. But you can go to any of those 2 locations and you can get a return time for any of the houses at Halloween Horror Nights. So if you're all the way in the back of the park and you want to get a return time for a house in the front of the park or vice versa, this is a game changer. It saves you so much time. It saves you from trekking halfway across the park just to get a return time. It was amazing. We did utilize it. My partner does have the Attraction Assistant Pass, and it's amazing. We loved it. It really, really helped us out. So just know that for this year, they're trying it out. So make sure you try it out. If you have the pass, you give them the feedback. They're getting positive reviews for it. So hopefully this will continue to be a new staple at this event. So we did head into Diagon Alley because the Death Eaters are back this year in Diagon Alley. It is amazing. They do kind of like a little show, if you will, when they come out, and then they kind of go out into the alley and they're all over the place doing all kinds of different things. And make sure you have like your phones ready or whatever, because you never know where they're going to be or what they're going to be doing and when things are going to happen. And then of course, once they are kind of done for like their set, they go back, kind of like a little closing, like disappearing show kind of thing. But it's just a whole lot of fun. It adds a whole nother level to the Diagon Alley area during Halloween Horror Nights. So the second house we went through tonight, we usually do 2 a night, was Goblins Feast. Enter Goblin Village, where a feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches. And you are the main course. So I heard quite a bit about this house actually, and how it's kind of a fan favorite by a lot of people. So we went through it. I thought it was cute, and those were my exact words. It was cute. To me, there always seems to be a house that is like not as scary. It's kind of a fun house, but this wasn't really a fun house. This was like the goblins, they're having their feast. You're the feast is what it's supposed to be.
Very, very gory, human gore, bodies cut up. Right. It was like, so if you're a gore fan, and that's kind of the thing is like, so Halloween Horror Nights isn't just about horror and scaring. Like there's some gore about it too, and this was very much a gory house where like you see a lot of dismemberment, a lot of chopped up bodies. It was very gory, in my opinion.
So yes, it was gory, but I mean that to me is expected at this event. The feeling of the house, the way that the scare actors were kind of doing their part, it wasn't scary. I didn't find it scary at all.
It was like fun, yeah.
It was a fun house. So yes, there's the gore, yes, there's all that, but it wasn't like scary, like oh my god, I'm gonna die. It's like no, I'm here and they're cooking dinner. So I'm just interrupting their dinner. It was cute. It was cute. I'm not really a favorite house right now. Again, we've only been through
early
two.
in the season,
We've
so
only been through two. So we shall see. We just went through the Central Park Scare Zone, which this year is Swamp of the Undead. In Backwaters, Louisiana, you unwittingly wander onto private property where you're swamped by zombies born from the bodies of other trespassers who were killed and dumped into a nearby bog.
it's a no for me.
So I think the last time this scare zone was actually like a good scare zone is when they had all the pumpkins, the jack-o'-lanterns in the trees. It really kind of like lit it up in a good way, and like that still spooky way, but it was lit up enough where you saw like what was going on. You saw the story of the scare zone. I could kind of see some of the stuff. I could see like, you know, you're in a swamp. Obviously swamps are not lit up, but I really didn't see any of the scare actors until I was like on top of them, or they're on top of me.
It was just dark for dark's sake, not
Right.
dark because scary. So it worked-ish, but yeah,
Right.
I'm with Mike on this. Like, it's just been my least favorite scare zone the past couple of years. I remember the pumpkins. The pumpkins were cute. It was, I mean, being a pumpkin fan for Halloween, I like pumpkins. So, like, you know, we decorate with pumpkins. It was fun for me, but I just didn't, I don't know, like last year didn't hit, this year didn't hit, the year before didn't hit.
It just, I don't know. I feel like they can do the theming, like they do theming really well in some areas, and they light them decently well in some areas where you get the story but you still get the creepy. And this, like I said, it's just dark. It's really dark. So it's okay, like whatever, but not my favorite.
Neither.
Just went through Demon Queens. Get caught in an otherworldly hellscape ripped from the darkest corners of your mind. For merciless queens loyal to surreal rule, surrounded by hordes of fanatical followers. That was the last scare zone that we kind of walked through. And it's also kind of the last thing we're doing tonight before we head out the gate. I kind of liked it. I liked the sets. We kind of ran into Surreal, who's one of the icons this year. She was kind of doing her little thing with her queens. So the show, it seemed to be really good. The lighting is pretty good there. There seemed to be a lot of scare actors in that little area. So I don't know if that's normal or if it was, you know, like when they change out the scare actors situation. But when we walked through, there was a ton of scare actors. I don't know, I liked it. I thought it was really good.
Since Mike and I have been together and we've been coming to Halloween Horror Nights, my favorite scare zone has been Hollywood for the past, we've been coming here 5 years now. So yeah, 5 years we've come to Halloween Horror Nights, 4 years. Hollywood has been my favorite scare zone. This one actually isn't this year. You know, the sets are done well, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's hitting for me right now. Maybe we need to come back more and I can get a better feel for the scare zone, but right now, like first impression, I don't know, like it's my number 3 this year.
I think it's, I don't know, like I think because, so when we were going through, like I said, there was like the show going on in the middle. So I don't know if it has anything else happening in the scare zone show-wise, because usually there's like different areas, like different sets that are set up that have something going on. And so I don't know if it's because the main show is going on that nothing else was, or if that's it. I mean, we'll find out, obviously.
Right. And you know, and tonight it did rain, so it could be the rain could have a lot to do with like why some of these scare zones didn't hit right, or you know, maybe why there wasn't the scare actors in Ghostbusters like it should have been. But I don't want to blame everything on the rain just quite yet. But I am going to give the rain a pass. So hopefully the next time we come, it won't be raining. We'll get a better.
It's still hurricane season.
We'll get a better a view of what the zones were like, and maybe our review might change. We might have to redo this video and say, we were wrong.
Take back what you said.
I know.
So before we completely left Universal for the evening, we did notice there's a special photo op this year in the City Walk area. So they're using the jack-o'-lanterns that were used in the Major Suites Scare Zone a couple years ago, and then they took the red pickup truck, which is usually used during the Christmas time, and turned it into the Little Boo kind of jack-o'-lantern pickup truck. I guess, they're harvesting the different pumpkins and stuff. It's a really, really cute little photo op. So if you're just in the City Walk area, you're not going to actual Halloween Horror Nights, there is still something there that you can kind of take a picture of with you, your family, your friends, whoever, to remember this year's event. Well guys, that's going to do it. That's night number 1, our first impressions of Halloween Horror Nights 33. We had a whole lot of fun, as we always do, and I can't wait to get back to experience more and share that with you guys. As always, thank you for following along on these little adventures of mine, and as always, I am Mike the Bee. You never know I'm going to be, I'm just going to be. You be too. I'll see you guys later. Bye!